Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It is Monday, October the 27th. We're bringing you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
Inside the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame in St. Mary's rests memorabilia from the last time the Blue Jays achieved baseball glory. Among the collection, 1992 and 1993 World Series rings. It's safe to say they're hoping to add to the display case.
Fingers crossed it can happen, and the Jays bring home the trophy. It's one of those things that can only bring good news to the baseball fan in Canada.
Another example of Jays glory, the helmet Joe Carter wore as he hit a 3-run shot to win the Jays the '93 World Series. But that's not all.
Our number one thing is we have the home plate from when Joe Carter stepped on home plate to make it official.
Outside, Ben Barney, a founding member of the Hall of Fame, remembers the moment.
I was at the '93 one when Carter hit the home run.
And Barney predicts the same as the Jays take to the field again.
Yeah, I know the Dodgers are heavily loaded up front, but so is Toronto up front. They might have a good chance.
But the admiration for the Blue Jays here in St. Mary's stretches well beyond the Hall of Fame. In fact, you can look no further than Town Hall. On a rainy morning, you can still make out the Jays logo mounted to the historic Town Hall.
They added the go to it. I didn't know about that. They kind of did that last minute.
St. Mary's Works employees Jed Kelly and John Hahn worked together with a local electrical contractor to put the logo up. Here's what it looks like at night.
We were putting up the lights at the Milton Field for Christmas, and we had this one already up, and we were driving by, and I said, man, that'd be cool if we could light that up for the Blue Jays.
The logo has further ignited Jays fever around town, even though the St. Mary's Lincolns play at home tonight.
Instead of going to watch the Lincolns tonight, I'm staying at home and watching the Jays.
Some in the Stone Town will watch the big game surrounded by Canadian baseball glory.
We got a big watch party tonight for Game 1. It's going to be, doors open 6:30, games at 8.
Because after all, baseball fans,
everybody's cheering for the Jays. You gotta believe.
In St. Mary's, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
I don't think I've stopped smiling for the last 24 hours. I could barely sleep last night.
After not being able to nab World Series tickets, lifelong Blue Jays fan Brett Jelly had other plans for this weekend.
My buddy all of a sudden calls me. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing Saturday?" And I'm like, "Wow, I was actually supposed to host a dinner party." And he was like, "Do you want to come to the World Series with me?" I'm like, "You have to be joking."
Jelly says he attends at least one Jays game every season. He scored the tickets from his friend, who received them for free from his uncle. That friend is one he played baseball with as a kid, making this ticket win all that sweeter.
As a baseball lover and as a huge Blue Jays fan, it's just incredible. How could you not be romantic about baseball?
It's honestly, words cannot describe this feeling.
Sarah Smith snagged 4 200-level tickets on Ticketmaster at more than $860 apiece when they went on sale earlier this week. She says when she attended the season's Jays home opener, she never imagined being able to make the drive back to Toronto for Game 1 Friday.
I think everyone's just going to be happy and in a great mood, and I'm just excited.
And it was way too expensive to go to Toronto, so we're going to Los Angeles.
Mark Lim is going the distance to see the Jays, traveling from Ottawa to Los Angeles for Game 4 on Tuesday, saying it was cheaper to get his tickets at the Dodgers Stadium, and flights cost the same.
Probably about $5,400 in tickets, and they were close to $6,000 in Toronto for the same seats.
The baseball fan expects the 48-hour trip to cost about $10,000. But he says it's all in the name of the game and seeing the Jays in a whole new way.
It's a bucket list, wanted to see a World Series. What better way to see it with the Canada team?
Mark Lim says that $6,000 price tag for the Toronto ticket was per ticket, so it was half the price to go to the Dodgers Stadium. Even so, the quest to get tickets to the game in Toronto was a difficult one. Reports show that tickets sold out in about a half an hour for all of the games.
From the top. Besides the excitement, I think things are going really well. They sound like professional singers, in my opinion, but you can tell they're a bit nervous, and none of them have been on a stage like this before. We're going to meet at Scotiabank Centre, probably do a little sound check, and then I think just shake in our seats until we go on stage. We're really looking forward to it.
I was like excited. I was like, this is crazy. Like, I've never imagined this.
Yeah, I was really surprised.
We're so excited.
Yes. Yeah, I've like listened to this song since I was like 6, so I'm really excited.
My mom yelled, she like, oh my gosh.
And my dad like literally jumping for joy.
I mean, it's a lot of people.
I'm very nervous, but I think we'll do good. I think we sound really good.
Yeah.
I know you can show me.
I got some good info from the foreigner people, and they're just kind of reiterating the procedures, what happens, and to tell the kids to have lots of fun because it's going to be a moment to remember.
This custom-built 3D printer allows scientists to produce small pieces of heart muscle that behave like real human tissue.
So we take blood samples from patients and we make stem cells from them. From those stem cells, we make heart cells.
The team, led by Dr. Zach Laxman at St. Paul's Hospital, has been working on the machine for 3 years.
It's exciting to be able to see kind of what the potential of just a small little build like this could have an effect on so many people's lives now and in the future.
The researchers made their own because none of the commercially available 3D printers had as much of a personalized approach as this one.
We have patients who have very specific genetic conditions, so there's a change in their DNA that led to their heart condition.
The tissue that is created is then drug tested to see what happens and if the heart health improves. This can significantly speed up the process of drug testing.
That are more human relevant, that are able to more closely mimic what's happening in human hearts and allow us to figure out what are some of the drugs that are going to be suitable for a patient we're seeing in clinic, and maybe what are some of the drugs that might be toxic for them.
The samples created are genetically identical to the patient's cell, meaning treatment is easier and more efficient.
We can try different drugs, try different treatments, and that tissue carries the same DNA change that the patient carries. And so the treatment is predicted to be successful for that person, but also safe.
Dr. Laxman and his team are already using the technology to study multiple conditions, including heart rhythm and muscle problems. He hopes to fundraise to grow the technology and increase the heart tissue they are able to print.
We're looking to treat patients with heart failure and potentially replace heart transplants in the future.
Yasmin Gandham, CTV News.
A special package from Major League Baseball after they heard about 8-year-old Logan Dorna's special prosthetic eye.
We are so inspired by you. It must be so exciting for your Blue Jays to finally be back in the World Series.
Logan was diagnosed with retinoblastoma, a form of eye cancer, when he was 6 months old.
When he was about 2 weeks old, I started to see a strange glow in his left eye, and it would only be there whenever I was taking his photo or video using flash on my smartphone, and then I started to see it more often. It was approximately 6 weeks post-op that he received his custom-made prosthetic eye.
Since then, he's had several special designs.
The second one I got was Wreck-It Ralph because the movie just came out and I love the movie. I did Mario for my third, Kirby for my fourth, and the Zelda Triforce for my fifth.
Then last month, the young Jays fan was due for a new prosthesis.
Logan's special prosthesis was made about 3 weeks ago when the Jays found out they'd made it to the playoffs.
The prosthetics now are made from a heat-cure, medical-grade acrylic plastic.
Matthew Milne is Logan's ocularist.
He wanted a Blue Jays eye made to celebrate the Blue Jays making the World Series, so he specified that he wanted the Blue Jays logo, the stitching, and a golden iris to celebrate the occasion.
Logan says the gold is to remind him of the glow from his eye when his mom first spotted the tumor. And he says his favorite Jay is Max Scherzer.
Because he has two different colored eyes, brown and blue.
Logan has vowed to keep his prosthesis in place until the Jays win the World Series. He's hoping for 4 games, but 7 would be fine too, as long as they win. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
As the countdown to Game 1 of the World Series continues, students at Ossington Old Orchard Junior Public School got the surprise of a lifetime. Max Kerman and Nick Dyka from the iconic Canadian rock band Arkells stopped by to help pump up the volume with some game day classics.
2, 3, 4.
How excited are you that the Arkells are here?
Very excited.
And it's very nostalgic for me because I remember taking the Spadina streetcar down to the Dome when I was a kid in the 90s and hearing that song.
Students and staff from across the Toronto District School Board showing their support for Canada's team by wearing Blue Jays gear for Blue Jays Spirit Day.
It feels really great to be able to have this celebration, and it's just really joyous and fun.
And with a little help from Max and Nick, sung loud and proud.
The Jays are like a memory you get to share. Like Max and I have lots of memories of going to Jays games together when we first met 20 years ago. We both have those memories with our friends and families, and the Jays are just such a special way to kind of like connect with people you care about.
I was 14 in 1992, so this is pretty exciting to be able to have my kids, our kids, experiencing what we experienced.
The energy is tangible at Blue Jays Spirit Day, all set and designed to help inspire the next generation of Blue Jays fans. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
They're studying biomedical sciences at the University of Calgary. Nathan Barrett and Nick Hill-Srivasan are getting a tour of the Calgary Drop-In Center's free goods and donations facility. The two founded an initiative called Compassion Calgary to collect winter gear for the city's vulnerable population.
I'm a regular transit commuter, and during the winter times I have the unfortunate, I could say privilege of seeing some people facing the harsh realities of the winter, especially when it gets really cold, like -30, -40, and seeing them cope with the weather is really, it just brought something emotionally to me.
We've had a lot of students at the university get involved. We've been very fortunate to receive the response that we've had. A lot of people have helped with promotion, outreach, donation collection.
The two are accepting anything that will keep someone warm.
It's really dependent on what's available, what people are able to provide. If it's new, that would be great, but used products are also welcome here, so anything really.
Ryan O'Neill says many of the bins here are empty right now. He runs the free goods program where all donations come to be sorted and distributed to other agencies helping more than 3,000 of the city's unhoused.
It makes a world of difference. I mean, just think of the dignity that it provides just to be able to have a piece of clothing item that you can call yours that keeps you warm and keeps you out of the cold. And that's why initiatives such as Compassion Calgary to support us goes in such a long way.
The students have set up a QR code to make a donation.
You fill out a form and then pick essentially a time on a Saturday in October where someone can come to your address and pick up your donation. It can be completely contactless, and we will have a volunteer come to your house, pick up the donation.
The two hope to gather 1,000 items of clothing. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Disappointment. We've worked really hard. The committee members, the players, everybody leading up to it. Significant disappointment.
Alberta Lung spent 6 months planning a 24-hour pickleball tournament, a first in Canada and the organization's biggest fundraiser of the year. It was slated to start tonight at Rays Athletics in St. Albert, but on Tuesday, the company sent users an email saying it had to temporarily close. With 200 local and out-of-province participants, Lee Allard says they had to act.
To be fair to all of them, we needed to give them advance warning. We're not canceling it. We are postponing this event. It will happen.
A notice on behalf of the landlord is posted at the facility saying the lease has been terminated due to default. A spokesperson from Rays Athletics tells CTV News the closure is temporary and discussions are taking place with several parties to find a resolution. We realize a lot of panic has ensued from some of the mixed messaging that has been spread around through unofficial channels, which has led to many believing this is a permanent closure. We appreciate everyone's patience with us while we navigate the situation. Out of respect for ongoing discussions, they would not comment on the lease termination notice.
And we've been caught smack dab in the middle of it, as I'm sure lots of others are.
Alberta Lung still hopes to have its event at the St. Albert facility in the near future, but is exploring other options. Money raised through the tournament is earmarked for breathing space, a new facility for lung transplant patients being built in 2026.
Breathing space is the first of its kind in Canada. Patients come from all across the country to Edmonton for lung transplant. And so this home away from home will help with the out-of-pocket expenses that they incur when moving to Edmonton for their lung transplant.
$80,000 has been raised so far for the tournament. Allard says the delay could be a silver lining.
Some have said, I have more time to practice playing pickleball and really raise more money and awareness and tell people about this great event.
Amanda Anderson, CTV News, St. Albert.
Indigenous social work program is one of the leading programs at the First Nations University of Canada. Now an alumni group has brought the past, present, and future members of the faculty together to talk about the issues members face after completing their education and in the working world.
We really focus on this theme of self-determination and how can we, bring our knowledge and our background to the social work profession, and also to really help clients, but to make sure that we're living up to our values and ideals as Indigenous social workers.
In 2023, the Indigenous social work faculty celebrated 50 years of activity. The program has produced generations of professionals working across the province. Brianna Lara has been working in child protection since she left university 4 years ago. She has experienced both an Indigenous and non-Indigenous led approach to the field.
It was a different lens for sure, just walking in both worlds, especially because a lot of people don't understand community and how our families need that connection. So it was always about the individual, and not about everybody else that is connected with family and community.
Misha Stonechild is another graduate of the program. She went directly to an Indigenous-led organization and says the transition was simple, with similar values shared all around.
I feel like it did set me up to be able to understand different points of views and to be able to apply what I learned in school into my practice, but also all the different tools that I've learned throughout my academic career apply to my field professional career.
Many of those now out in the field have shared experiences, sometimes feeling like the only Indigenous person in the room. The alumni group is looking to form a support system for those who may be struggling and to lay a foundation for future graduates.
For our students, for our current students, to be able to see, where the BISW graduates are, where they're working, the impact that they're having, so that they know, all the different paths that are available to them as well.
Other Indigenous social work professionals who are not alumni are welcome to join the group and their movement towards self-determination. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
32 years and 1 day. That is how long it has been since the Toronto Blue Jays last won the World Series.
Do you remember 92 and 93, the last time they won?
I wasn't born.
And neither was most of the Blue Jays roster. Just 6 players were alive during the Jays' last trip to the Fall Classic, including pitcher Jeff Hoffman, who was just 10 months old.
Everybody was watching the same game. There was no internet at the time, so that's all we had.
Back then, the Blue Jays' opening day payroll was the highest in the league at nearly $46 million in 1993 dollars, which is roughly $100 million today. Much less than the $239 million spent by the Blue Jays this year, the 5th highest payroll. Outside the Dome, the hot dog vendors haven't changed much in 30 years, though their prices have. $6 now compared with $2 in 93. But one of the biggest changes, tickets, how they're bought and how much they cost. 32 years ago, dedicated fans camped out all night to score World Series seats. This year, tickets were scooped up online in minutes, with some resale prices as high as $20,000. Not even close to prices 30 years ago.
Singles and obstructed seats on sale for all 4 games of the World Series at $78, $58, and $32.
Touch them all, Joe!
And while a lot has changed since Joe Carter touched them all, some things have not. Rick Pritchard biked down to the Rogers Center just to take it all in.
Here I am trying to get a smell of the atmosphere.
Lois Newell is from Nova Scotia and watched the Jays win in 93 with her son Andrew. She's now back with her son and 3 grandchildren.
This means a lot because this is something that my grandchildren can remember.
And 32 years ago, there were 2 Canadian Major League Baseball teams. Now it's just the Blue Jays, playing not only for Toronto, but for the entire country. Heather Wright, CTV News.
The third annual Henderson Medal Fall Classic is in full swing in Sault Ste. Marie. The event saw considerable growth last year, but changes to the international curling schedule brought on by the upcoming Olympics has limited the draw. Just 18 teams are on ice this year compared to 28 in the previous edition. It's having an impact on ticket sales for full event passes, but single draws are still selling.
We did anticipate a smaller crowd turnout this year because of the smaller field size, but we've actually had quite a few people just coming one draw at a time. So the crowds have been probably bigger than we expected, but smaller than last year.
Regardless of the down year, the Sioux Fall Classic has become a consistent boost to the city's sport tourism sector. Tourism officials say the event brings in roughly $175,000 new dollars to the city each year.
Last year, we had about 4,000 people attend the event, and over 40% of them were traveled from out of town. So it does, there's a significant economic impact to our city.
It puts us on a national stage, which is wonderful. People can realize that Sault Ste. Marie is a destination for people to come, not only to visit for recreation, but to host sporting events. And we're really making an effort to try and become known as being a sports hub.
11 of the 18 teams came from out of the province for this year's event. Included is last year's runners-up from Switzerland, who, among many things, enjoy the opportunity to see the nature that Canada has in abundance.
The event obviously was amazing. We like that there are people inside the rinks or the ice. Also, of course, prize money, points is cool. And also the zoo with the lake and the river, we loved it.
Despite a smaller field, the Fall Classic still saw 4 of the top 10 teams in the world. The event runs until Sunday afternoon. Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Rebecca is on a quest of sorts that began more than 20 years ago and continues almost every day.
There's always something there. It's never the same day twice.
A search for beauty beyond the flowers in the spring and leaves in the fall for Rebecca's favorite find of all.
The feathers.
The feathers?
Yes, the feathers.
Specifically, peacock feathers, because, Rebecca says, before proving it with pictures, whether the moms are caring for their chicks in the spring or the dads are displaying their plumage in the winter, there's always feathers to be found.
And I just can't resist them.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're so pretty.
And there are a lot to choose from here, because a few moments before Rebecca arrived, there was a proliferation of peacocks.
I call them a perusal of peacocks.
Because there are just so many peacocks to peruse. So many colors to consider, so many behaviors to observe.
They groom each other, so that's nice.
Even after they disagree, Rebecca says, the peacocks are nice.
They hang out with each other afterwards, so they don't carry a grudge.
But they do discard a lot of feathers, which is even better than nice.
Yeah, I've got a whole collection of them. Yeah, you can never get too many.
Well, Rebecca will use the feathers to create all sorts of crafts back home.
It's a pretty one here.
She takes a moment to arrange them here.
They're so pretty in the sun.
Into a blissful bouquet.
And it offset all the bad things that happen because you can weigh against all the beauty.
Because if you take the time to look for beauty, she's learned, you will always find it. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.